You know that person who shows up to everything in the same black hoodie, worn jeans, maybe a vintage band tee that's older than some relationships they've had? While everyone else is cycling through micro-trends like they're collecting Pokemon cards, this person looks like they decided on their aesthetic in 2014 and said, "We're good here." And before you think this is about not caring, let me stop you right there. This is about caring so much about the wrong things for so long that fashion became the least interesting performance left to give. People who avoid trendy fashion aren't rejecting style, they're rejecting the audition. Because here's what nobody tells you about trauma, about being the kid who learned to read rooms before they learned to read books, about spending your formative years managing other people's emotions like an unpaid therapist. You get really tired of performing. And fashion, especially trendy fashion, is performance. It's a language that says, "Look at me, I'm fluent in right now." And when you've spent years fluent in survival, fluent in making yourself small, fluent in becoming whatever kept the peace, the idea of learning another language just to prove you're paying attention feels like signing up for overtime in hell. There's this concept in psychology called decision fatigue. It's why Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray shirt every day, why Obama had that limited suit rotation. The brain has a finite amount of energy for decisions, and every choice depletes it. But here's where it gets interesting for our chronically over-functioning, hyper-vigilant, people-reading fashion avoiders. Their decision fatigue didn't start this morning when they opened their closet. It started at 7 years old when they were deciding whether dad's footsteps on the stairs meant good day or hide. It started when they learned to calculate the mood of a room in milliseconds, when they became fluent in micro-expressions before they hit puberty. So by the time everyone else is agonizing over whether to buy the trending cargo pants or the viral puffer jacket, they're standing there thinking, "I have already made 10,000 decisions before breakfast, and none of them were about me." The uniform becomes a rebellion, not a loud one, not a "look at me defying norms" punk rock statement, though it can look like that from the outside. No, this is quieter. This is, "I have given enough of myself to the world's expectations. My clothes will not be another negotiation." It's boundaries written in fabric. It's saying, "You will know me by what I say and do, not by whether I understood the assignment of this season's silhouette." And here's the poetry hiding in the practicality. When you've survived chaos, when you've been the stable one in unstable situations, when you've been the translator between broken adults or the emotional support animal for your own parents, you develop this deep, almost spiritual appreciation for things that don't change. That black hoodie isn't boring, it's reliable. Those same jeans aren't uninspired, they're predictable. And predictability, to someone who grew up in emotional weather patterns, is luxury. It's peace. It's coming home to find everything exactly where you left it, which might be the only time in your childhood that actually happened. The psychologist Abraham Maslow had this hierarchy of needs, right? You can't worry about self-actualization when you're worried about safety. You can't contemplate your aesthetic expression when you're contemplating whether you'll be screamed at today. So these people, they got stuck solving bottom-of-the-pyramid problems while everyone else moved up to the penthouse of self-expression.
And now, even when they're safe, even when the chaos is over, that old operating system is still running. The brain still treats novelty with suspicion. Change still feels like threat. So the trending cargo pants aren't fashion, they're just another variable in an equation that's already too complicated. But let's talk about what this actually looks like in relationships, because this is where it gets beautifully messy. Partners of fashion avoiders will tell you stories. "I bought them this nice jacket, thought they'd love it, they thanked me, and then I never saw it again." Because the jacket wasn't the point. The jacket was an attempt to rewrite their operating system through cotton blend. It was well-intentioned colonization of their carefully constructed comfort zone. And these people, they've already been colonized by enough expectations. Their whole childhood was wearing the emotional outfit someone else picked out. So now they're wearing what feels like home. Even if home is a $15 thrift store flannel that's been washed so many times it's achieved enlightenment. There's also this dark little corner of it that's about invisibility as strategy. When you learned early that being noticed meant being criticized, judged, or used as an emotional dumping ground, you learned to dress like camouflage. Nothing too bright, nothing that invites questions, nothing that says, "I'm trying," because trying meant failing, and failing meant consequences. So the anti-trendy uniform becomes armor that looks like apathy. It says, "Nothing to see here, move along," while inside there's this whole rich world that has nothing to do with hemlines and everything to do with thoughts that could fill libraries. If this is hitting a little too close to home, do me a favor and drop a comment. Tell me what your uniform is. Tell me what you've been wearing for years that everyone thinks is boring, but you know is freedom. I want to hear about it, because I know I'm not alone in seeing you, and you're not alone in being seen. And here's where the non-fashion people actually have it figured out in a way that the trend hoppers don't. They know who they are. Not who Instagram says they should be this week, not who TikTok decided is the vibe, but who they actually are when nobody's selling them anything. That's rare. That's almost extinct in our current moment. They've done the identity work, usually the hard way, usually too young, and they came out the other side knowing exactly what they're not willing to pretend about anymore. And if that means wearing the same thing until it disintegrates, then that's what it means. There's a kind of confidence in that people mistake for not caring, but it's the opposite. It's caring so much about interior life that exterior life becomes set dressing. It's knowing that the most interesting thing about you will never be available in stores. It's understanding that authenticity isn't an aesthetic, it's a practice. And sometimes that practice looks like the same boots you've had since college and will probably be buried in. So when you see that person who hasn't updated their look since the last time low-rise jeans were in, before they came back around again, know this: they're not lost, they're not confused, they're not waiting for someone to give them a makeover montage. They found themselves in the wreckage of too early responsibilities and too much survival, and they decided that was enough transformation for one lifetime. The rest of you can keep performing. They'll be over here in the same jacket, finally at peace. If you got something from this, hit subscribe, not because I need the number, but because you might need the next one. And if you know someone wearing the same thing they wore in their profile picture from 5 years ago, send this to them. Tell them they're not broken, they're just done performing. We'll see you in the next one.